work that doesn't need to be done. So ask them to show you the reasons why they're recommending an allowance.
All right, folks, good afternoon. This is meteorologist Brian Good. Got a tornado warning out now for eastern areas of Jefferson County. This is mainly for the area around Fern Creek, heading toward Fisherville. This tornado warning is in effect till 2:45 this afternoon. The reason why, I just spoke on the phone with the mayor of Heritage Creek, Larry Webb, who tells me that right around Cedar Creek Road and Bueller Church Road, there was a brief touchdown that took place. Got shingle damage. Apparently windows have been blown out as well. No warning was in effect at that time, but we were watching the rotation showing up on the radar itself around the Fern Creek area, and you can see at the moment it has briefly, at this point, disappeared. But that little notch you see right there over Fern Creek is where our concern is going to be in the next, I would say, 30 minutes if this can hold together. This is not a situation we've seen in the past couple of weeks where these tornadoes develop and they stay on the ground for a long period of time, but they can briefly touch down. That's been the case we've seen in the Fern Creek area so far. Right along the Bardstown Road area in Fern Creek itself is where we've had the reports, again, around Cedar Creek Road, as well as to the Heritage Creek community itself. Again, when I talked to the mayor, he said that he witnessed what it looked to him to be a tornado that actually did come down, briefly touched down and knocked out the windows. And then, of course, now we're getting reports the sirens are going off now, obviously, in areas of Jefferson County. This is around the Brandywine Drive area, Fern Creek, not too far away from the Gene Snyder Freeway as well. There's Williamsboro Lane, also tracking that. Fairground Road area, you know where that is, obviously, if you're near Blue Church Road, heading off from there. Again, this is so far, we've got several reports from the public, and again, including the mayor at Heritage Creek, talking about how this thing did touch down briefly. So, basically, along and north, at this point of the Gene Snyder Freeway, that little area of green, as we're going to be tracking here the next little bit, that is our main concern. Let me outline for you what I'm talking about. We're riding through here, south of J-Town, Fern Creek, right along the Gene Snyder Freeway, Broad Road Road area, as well as perhaps even Broad Road itself, the park that's located in that area of most concern. A little bit of a notch showing up. Rotation hasn't been overly strong, but we've been tracking it. It was a little strong a little while ago when it was over Bueller Church Road, but we didn't have any confirmation of anything reaching the ground at that point until I got the phone call about a few moments ago, and I passed that word along to the Weather Service, and then obviously now we're getting the siren reports that are coming out. So go ahead and get in your safe spot. Talking about lowest level of your home, eastern areas of Jefferson County, basement, obviously the best place to be. But the key to this, because we've already had reports of windows that have been blown out in the Fern Creek area, make sure to get away from windows. Get into your room, bathroom, basement, those kind of areas. That's the area of concern that we don't want you to be in, obviously, if the tornado does come in your direction. This is not part of the main line of storms we're going to be tracking as we get to the next little bit. There's another line of storms that is developing across West Kentucky that has been locally severe as well, producing some high winds in that area. But this is actually just a line of storms now moving through areas of Jefferson County that has not been associated with any warnings until this last few moments. Okay, here's a wider view again. Here's Forest Hills, Douglas Hills community. Here's Fern Creek. Here's the Seatonville area, and then head down to the south of here as we head down toward the Mount Washington region. But western areas of Spencer County, also in the path, potentially, this brief touchdown that could take place here in the next little bit. Notice that notch still showing up there, and again, as I showed you, the rotation, not very definitive at this point, but it doesn't take much to really get these things to rotate down and briefly touch down, cause some roof damage, tree damage, and then they go back up again, and then they come back down. So that's why we've got to watch this carefully in eastern areas of Jefferson County. Here's the Gene Snyder riding through here. Hardly any rain in advance of it, so the rain shuts off, and then you get the high wind potential, and that's where that rotation is on the back side of that as it moves through, again, eastern areas of Jefferson County. All right, we're going to switch over now, and I'm going to show you a different view of the storm as we continue to track the velocity scope as well. Remind everybody that if you're in the path, get into that basement, and make sure to stay away from those windows. But Larry Webb, I talked to him a few moments ago. We'll try to get him back on the phone here in the next little moment, as the rotation on this particular was really strong, say around 2:10 this afternoon. I'm still not seeing it as strong as it was earlier. We had rotation, it was pretty good reflectivity of that just above the ground. It now seems to be lifted back up again, so don't let your guard down, obviously, just because of the fact that this thing touched down so fast. That's why I'm apologizing, I'm a little bit out of breath here, coming running around. But it touched down so fast that it caused a brief amount of damage, and I could hear the sirens in the background when I was talking.